Here's me letting you know. I just
Perfect.
just let you know.
Perfect.
So, are you essential? I guess the question I asked. Are you essential or are you not? Are you the N-word? Are you non-essential?
Mentally, I feel like I'm not essential, but basically, yeah, with the day job, I have to help probably about 250,000 users at home, so it's kind of annoying as hell. So.
But you're still working.
That's true. Yes,
That is
I am.
good.
Yeah, my hours have doubled because of this.
Wow.
So yeah, it's.
But you're working from home.
Yeah, that's
hours have doubled, but travel is lessened, so that's good, right?
Depending on the day, yeah, there is some travel involved. So like, I had to deliver some laptops the other day. So what I did was I basically ran to the house like I was 6, put the laptop down, rang the doorbell, and ran back as fast as I could. I was like, fuck, I'm not talking to those people.
Like it was poop in a bag and you lit it on fire. You're just
Literally.
like, watch them pick it up. I would while you're leaving, I would just fake cough out loud and watch them freak out. Like, what do I get it? He's like, I just heard that guy cough. I swear he coughed.
Oh yeah, there's been a bunch of people with that. Like, the second someone sneezes, they're like, "Oh my god, I got it," and I'm like, "Calm down, it's a sneeze."
It's funny because those are the same people who never thought twice about using like that paper thing you get in the bathrooms at a stall at a gas station. They never sat on the butt donut, but now they're like, "Don't cough on me." Like, you've been gross your whole life.
Yeah, these are the same people that, like you said, in the towel, the little towel rack that looks like one big loop. They're literally the same people just grabbing that, and I'm like, you're not supposed to just wipe on your hands is clean, or wipe on your pants is cleaner than that.
Yeah.
So.
You're not. I know. As long as this goes, at the very beginning, everybody was doing their washing their hands for like 30 seconds, singing a song.
Oh, yeah.
A second's gotten knocked off every 2 days. You know, people are down to 7 seconds right now. No one's doing that shit. And more than anything, I bet you they're running the water so people in the kitchen or the other room hear the water and go, they're doing it, but they're not really washing anymore. We gave up.
Oh, yeah, dude. They're easily like, you know what? 30 seconds. I'm at home, so all I need to do for maybe 3. I won't even use soap. I'll just rest my hand under there. I got my hands wet. We're good.
Yeah, I mean, as a country, we might be divided more than ever right now, but always Americans will never do what they're supposed to. That's the American way.
That
Tell
is 100%.
me I got to wash my hands. Tell me I can't hug strangers. I'm going to hug the fuck out of them. I don't care.
Well, it started back in 1776 when you told us stuff we couldn't do. So we're like, yeah, no, we're going to do the exact opposite. Yeah. And then it's just been going ever since. So.
We were the assholes a better country didn't want. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
We can beef it up all we want to. No one else wanted to be here. All the Land O'Lakes fucking people are here, and they were all mad. We came here and told them, guess what? Now you got Thanksgiving, and here's a blanket that'll kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
USA.
150 years later, you're like, you know what? Make a casino. We'll call it even.
Yeah, you know what? We're good.
Yeah,
Black
exactly.
people are about, can we get a free Popeyes or something? Like, no, nothing for you.
Yeah,
They should
exactly.
at least give them a Popeyes or something.
You would give them something. Like, all right, so the Indians have casinos.
How fucked up would that be if they gave them a chicken?
Jesus.
Two on the nose. Like, what about my nose? No, sorry, we're out of it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a hole we don't want to go down.
We told everyone your dicks are big. Isn't that enough?
Yeah, exactly. Everyone knows you're the better athlete. Everyone knows you're the better. You have that. Okay,
well, we can't bring it up. Don't bring it up.
No. Don't bring it up.
Don't bring up why it is because of the super breeding that some hillbilly in Alabama did to make all the LeBrons we ever needed.
Yeah, literally. He's like, all right. He's basically the Doc Brown of the slavery period.
I was about to say the most racist thing ever, but take gigawatts and rhyme it. And
oh man,
that would be the
1 point gigawatts. Yeah,
we're going black to the future, Marty. Black to the Future. I'd watch that movie.
Did you ever see the Family Guy where he's like, they made a spoof off of it where he's like, Marty, we have to go to the future. He's like, why is that? He's like, because your daughter marries a black guy. And he's like, yeah, I'm kind of cool with that. He's like, yeah, I'm not cool with hanging out with you anymore.
So you're working. That's good. Are you doing any of those comedy online things?
I can't do them. Like, I tried, and it's just, there's like, you got a bunch of people on the screen, and then like half of them are delayed. So you're like sitting there, and you as a comic, you know this. If no one's laughing, all right, on to the next thing. And then all of a sudden, 10 seconds into it, you're like, oh, they're laughing at that from before.
Oh, so
where
you're
am I
seeing
right now?
the audience. I won't do one, so I haven't even seen it. Are you seeing the audience?
I did it once, and like I saw the audience. It's like, imagine the Zoom meeting, but imagine like 40 like just screens going down of people.
And they're not all muted, because if they're all up, it could be a distraction, just a
Oh
noise
no,
anyway.
I went and muted them all, but then I was like, crap, I want to hear laughter. But then
Right.
of course, the one person on mute has their dog barking the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was like, crap, all right, now I gotta go back and mute this. All right, no, now their kids crying on this one. So it was a disaster. Oh.
Now let me ask you something, Travis. Was it all white men on this show? Was it an all white Zoom online comedy show? I can't wait till that. I'll know comedy's back when there's like lesbian women and woke comics getting all pissed off because they didn't get booked on the thing no one wants to do. I can't wait.
Oh, dude, that's I got nothing for that, dude. Because I got accused of that one time. Like, so, I put on shows and stuff. I had one girl, she messaged me. She's like, your lineup's not very diverse. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, you have a female on there. I was like, okay. So that's what I thought. And I was like, no, I have a female on there.
Isn't that what diverse means, lady?
Yeah. And then she goes, well, she's white. I go, really? I go, at this point, like, really? Just fucking stop. Like, just stop.
And I always ask those people, okay, I understand what you're saying. And I understand that. Who are you going to get for me that's at the same price range as the person that I've booked? Because the person you're trying to replace is not, unless you're going to replace my headliner, which, by the way, once we get to headliner, there's no more diversity. I need someone to close the show. So if you're going to give me someone, if you're going to tell me to take someone out and put someone in, find me a person who's as funny as them, and I'll give them an opportunity. But then you, because you're Miss I have to ruin Christmas for people, you have to find my white woman comic a gig somewhere else.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, when someone yells out loud, "Don't have abortions," I'm like, that's fine. That's fair. You keep the baby.
Yeah, exactly. All right, fine. In 9 months, you got another baby. Yeah,
it's all yours.
Yeah.
Problem solved, because this crackhead can't raise it. You can have it now. It's just
this 14-year-old clearly knows what she's doing adulting already. Yeah. So let's have her keep it.
She knew how to get fucked by that guy. She didn't know. I mean, she knew him. It was her uncle, but still, it's not like she really knew him. Not like that. Not in the biblical sense.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like, yeah. So who do you want me to book instead? It's insane. That thought process. So right now we're not seeing that because the world's ending, but it will start coming back.
It'll come back. The second shows can start coming back, which who knows when. It's going to be okay. The one thing I'm worried about besides that is the amount of shit shows that are going to pop up. Because there's going to be a bunch of people that are like, well, I haven't done comedy in 3 months, but no one was booking me before. So now I feel like I can just go create my own show. And it's just going to be bad.
It's going to be bad. But if you are a piece of shit who wants to make money, you're in. Because all you have to do is go to any bar. A bar that would never deal with you before, and go, hey, do you want to put on comedy? You're like, hey, we're only allowed 20 people. And you're like, well, I've got the show for you. It's called Open Mic. And all you have to give me is $300.
Yeah. $300. Yeah.
You can guarantee 20 people, because that's all I'm allowed. We can hold 200, but we're being cut down to 35% capacity. Don't worry. 20 people, and they'll all buy drinks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And they'll all be here all night long. They definitely will. They're like, I'm in. And open mics will get bigger fucking budgets than actual regular shows.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I'm going to be like, well, you can go hit the open mic and get 50, or you can work for me and get 10. It's like, I can't do anything for you.
Can I get 5 on your open mic show? Like, dude, you're supposed to be doing 45 next week for me. Like, I'm going to bail on that. I found another open mic that pays 25 in wings.
Dude, I had a comic one time. He literally tells me, so he's on my show, and he goes, hey, there's an open mic, an hour down the road, because he was leaving that night and stuff. I was like, all right, cool. And he's like, do you care if I leave early to go hit the open mic? And I'm like, you haven't even gone yet. You're doing 25, and you want to cut down to 15 to go hit an open mic. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, you could do 15 then. That's fine.
You were paying him, right?
Oh, yeah. I was paying him, too. I told him do 15, and I paid him half of what I was going to freaking pay him.
The only time I ever did something dumb like that, and it wasn't for an open mic, but it was for another paid gig after.
Well, yeah, no, that's fine.
But also, I was headlining one and hosting another, and I said to the first one, I said, because I was hosting one of that comics thing, so it was at 10 o'clock on the other side of the state, and I had to go be there at a certain time. I was headlining some brewery at 7 o'clock. The turnout was literally 4 people, and there was 3 other comics and me, and I said, I don't mind doing my time, but can I go second? Yeah. The guy's like, wait, what? I'm like, have your host do 10. I'll do 45, and then the other 2 could do 5 each. He's like, yeah, exactly. I guess so. And
just say what you did. Say what you did. Yeah,
exactly. I did 45 as the guest spot. And the crowd was fine with it. And then the other guy goes, when I walked off, the guy goes, I think you went a little over. He was obviously kidding. He's like, here I am doing 45, doing a closing set. And then the other guy's like, so you guys like beer?
I got to follow up with this? Oh, great. At that point, it's like, I'm sick. I can't go on the show.
No, I'm good. And I ran off and did a gig for twice the amount. I think it was 9 people.
I was going to say 8. Yeah, 8 or 9.
8 or 9.
Exactly.
There was one fat guy that couldn't tell how big he was. It was good. What would have this been like? I know the Spanish flu was like 100 years ago, and they had to be kind of quarantined. Imagine if we did this without the internet.
Oh, Jesus.
It would be insane.
It would be brutal. Like,
people bitch about like we're stuck on our phone. I'm happy we have the phones. This isn't.
Oh yeah.
This isn't that. It's weirdly okay. It sucks that we can't all work. It sucks we can't do the things we love to do. But it's like we're all been put in timeout. It's not that bad. We were bad. We were bad as people. Someone ate a bat, and we're all gonna pay for it. And I understand that. When you were in school, and like, if you played a sport, if one kid didn't like make all the in practice didn't like run all the fucking drills or whatever, the whole team had to suffer. One guy ate a bat, and now everyone's going to suffer. I get it. I just hope it was good bat. I would be pissed if he was like, it wasn't even a good bat. Like, if it wasn't good, he had to pour hot sauce on it, which, by the way, if you have to pour hot sauce on it, you don't like bat, you like hot sauce. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what are you doing? I hope people die. I hope people's grandmas are just dropping like flies because that person had the tastiest vampire turkey he could ever have. That's what I hope.
Jesus Christ. I mean, you're hoping for the best there, but who knows? I mean, you could be like, half my timeline is like conspiracy theorists, like it was made in the lab and it's to control the population, it's to do this, and I'm just like, whatever. If it is, it is. Like, I don't know, and I'm just more of like you said, I'm happy for the internet as much as I hate Netflix right now because like I feel like I finished it, but like
I finished that in Pornhub.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah. Well, so I have Netflix, Hulu, HBO, freaking Disney. I'm not a pedophile; it came free.
Oh no, I tried with Disney. I watched Mandalorian. Then when that was done, I'm like, once I watched that, I was like, I've seen every Marvel movie. When I started watching The Shaggy Dog, I canceled it.
Well, the thing was,
what am I doing?
I got it.
Tim Allen's a dog, and he watches his wife get fucked by someone else. That's a Disney movie.
And I bet Tim Allen was in the corner, like, how he does Home Improvement.
That was his career. He did cocaine and Disney.
Yeah, that was his career, and he wants to revive that. And I'm like, dude, you're trying to relive those glory years, buddy. Good luck.
Yeah, but no more cocaine.
Yeah, well, he can't do coke now. He's too old now.
Listen, you guys have comics like that up there. We have them in Connecticut. There's all comics that do cocaine and make noises, but they don't get to have their own TV show.
Oh yeah, like no one gets that lucky. He was one of those like 2 years before that happened, he got arrested or something like that, and then all of a sudden now he's like, I got a hit TV show. And
a TV show that shouldn't have been a hit.
No.
What the fuck was that show? If you pitch me that premise now, I'm like, so he's on TV and he's kind of like Bob Vila, but he's also kind of like an asshole, and he's not really a good dad, and he obviously cheats on his wife. They're not saying that, but the assistants he hires are Pamela fucking Anderson and another lady who looks kind of like Pamela fucking Anderson.
Hotter every season. I'm like, really?
Tools.
It's like, yeah, we all know that
Al Borland and the greatest whore of all times.
Yeah,
Al Borland.
We all know a host who, for some reason, has a hotter comic on the show every year. We're like, I wonder who's getting that. Yeah, I wonder.
Wait, how'd she get the middle? She has 4 minutes. Well, on stage.
Yeah, she's hit 2 open mics. Oh yeah, she's good to feature. Fucking throw her on.
Imagine if that same female comic hit you up and went, "I know you're fucking that female comic." It's like, I'm not. She's white. I'm like, wait, you're just mad that she's white? You should be fucking a Puerto Rican or Dominican woman. I'm like, all right, well, hook me up. You find me one of those.
I can knock on wood and say I'm one of the few comics that's probably never hooked up with another comic. Hold on. I can say I've never hooked up with a comic in my area.
There you go. But you hooked up in her area. Hey-oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So. Well, first of all, when you're doing something like we do, especially being in the tri-state area, New England area, all that stuff, we all kind of meet each other, but not all the time. And every new state is like the land of the rising sun. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I go into New York and I'm like, oh, new people to see me. Isn't that same thing with male and female? You see each other and you're like, you're on stage when you're thinking, you're like, oh, good. It's a male or female I haven't seen before. That's attractive. That's all it is in comedy, really. It's not
That's
like
all it
their
is.
looks. It's like
somebody new, something new. Like, and
they
it's
have
like
a different take on Stranger Things. That's hot.
yeah, exactly. You're like, wait a minute, you're not going to go up and do the same joke I heard for 17 weeks straight at an open mic? Wow, you're different. I like you.
Yeah, flash forward to 2 months later. You're not fucking funny, you loser. It's like,
exactly. They're going to comment on a status I forgot we were friends with. And I was like, who are you? Oh, yeah, I remember who you were.
I remember you.
Yeah.
You went over to light. I lit you in bed. You went over.
That was the night. So the first night you and I think, met was in Chicopee.
Yes.
And then, so.
At the Cabot, which is no
Cabot.
longer a thing.
Yeah, R.I.P. to Cabot. And I remember this is the first time I met the owner there. I won't say his name because who knows booking and stuff like that. Actually, no, it's Marty. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, Marty. Actually, when this is all done, we'll be having another club in that area as well. I just saw. I haven't talked to Marty in a while, but just saw on like Instagram, Marty's lost a shit ton of weight.
Oh yeah, dude, he's doing great.
He went back from the fatter Baldwin to the hotter Baldwin. Like he's doing good.
Well, here I'm thinking I'm doing good, like in quarantine, losing a lot of weight and stuff. But then it's like I'm looking at other people and I'm like, yeah, it's a lot noticeable on you guys. So like me, I only dropped 15 pounds. And
I've gained 10. This is the opposite. I was doing my best when we were moving and going. Now that I've been home stuck, and now I've had to take. I've had to become essential. I had to take on a fucking part-time retail job because I lost everything. So I'm working weird hours. I'm beat. I'm eating like shit, but I don't care. Once it's done, I'll be back to being happy.
Yeah. Happiness. What is that? I don't remember that. I haven't had that in a while.
Actually, for the most part, when it comes to creativity-wise, this has been a very happy time for me. Getting to learn this more, focus on my podcast more, build that up, be more creative, try to write more things. I mean, yeah, I miss stand-up, but at the same time, it might be good for a reboot. We'll all be fine. We all talk about like Rust, whatever. We're going to be good. We all like to lie that we perform every night, but unless you have an agent or a manager, there's been times where you didn't have a show on a weekend. You only did one open mic. Maybe you ran a week or two. We've all done it. And if anything, now it's an even playing field. If there's a comic who was a host and hoping to be a feature, you're not thinking about what he used to be. If he comes off crisp, you're going to hire him to 25. You know what I mean? So it's just going to be about who gets out there and who knocks off the rust quickest. That's all.
Exactly. Yeah. And you can also tell the difference between the people that are going to move forward and the people that aren't. For example, the people that are going to move forward, the first time you see them, it's going to be a brand new 15. It may not be a good 15, but it's a brand new 15 compared to the people that are like, well, I'm going to throw in like a brand new 3 and I'm going to do the rest of my 12. You know what I mean? And it's like, what did you learn in these past couple months? Like, at least try it out, do stuff. Like, I wrote a bit the other day that I was laughing my ass off, and then I read it out loud, and I was like, this is terrible, but I'm still going to do this. Like, it was great.
I was talking to Drew Dunn. I had him on the podcast before.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, he's a hilarious guy. And we were talking about that, and I said, same thing. I wrote a bit, and I looked down at it the next day, and all my notepad said was, gerbils/hamsters equals Chinese/Japanese. And I'm like, oh, I know what I was doing, but I was just like, like we can't tell them apart, but only when you need to, like when you know exactly which one goes in your ass. Like,
oh Jesus Christ,
working on some clean bits. It's like what I'm working on.
Dude, I wrote a 15-minute bit. Oh, actually more than that. It's probably like a 25-30, but I'll cut it down to 5 about how much I hate Rick Springfield from Jesse's Girl.
Yeah.
And like,
you don't have to tell me where he's from.
Oh yeah, exactly. And it's one of those. Well, some people don't, so you got to explain it. But I'm just like, dude, that is the ultimate douchebag move by him. Like, imagine like, hey, buddy, you're my best friend. I got a great love ballad for you. And then like 5 minutes later, he's like, yeah, we can't be friends anymore.
Well,
like,
it depends. If he says, listen, I'm a dick and I'm sorry, but I'm going to give you 10% of the royalties of the song.
Yeah, that works.
Did you fuck her? Do we need a sequel?
Yeah. Well, then imagine though every argument Jesse gets in with his future wife, and it's like, yeah, some asshole I didn't even have sex with wrote a song about me. What the fuck have you done for me? And she just walks away, and you're like, God damn, Rick Springfield.
How many women are there that know they're the subject of a fucking song that made it big, who don't shut the fuck up about it to the guy they're with now? Like that woman that made Nickelback famous, like that, because that first album, that Chad guy, they're doing well, and she's like, you're never gonna become anything. You're a fucking loser. And he got heartbroken, and he wrote that first album that for a minute we all liked them, to decide we don't. But he made so much money off her fucking being a piece of shit And like it was like she's probably like, I was just kidding. He's like, why would I go back to you? I did.
Yeah.
I wrote my fucking War and Peace. I wrote the greatest thing I'll ever do. You made me so big. I'm hated because I'm talented. You did that for me.
So I need to be writing different stuff then for the crap that I'm going through, and hopefully that'll bring me to the next level of comedy.
You gotta find your rock bottom, and you gotta
I'm there, believe me.
Nice. Congratulations.
It won't be public, but it's pretty obvious I'm there. So
my favorite song like that ever is the Commodores had a song called "Sail On," and it's a nice song, whatever. But if you listen to the words, it's about divorce.
It's about divorce, yeah.
Yes.
It's about divorce, yeah.
And he says, I know it's a shame, but I'm giving you back your name. I'm like, is that the first diss track ever? Is that what it is? Like, did he just tell that bitch, take your name, bitch? And like, I'm going on. And he's just like an asshole. It's such a nice song. No, I make you happy. And you're like, you dancing around. You took all my money and my time. It's like, what are you doing? I know, but you know it's a shame. I'm giving you back your name. I'm like, and he gets so happy. Get some moving on, and he's singing, and then the other Commodores are in there, they're dancing. Like, imagine that girl going, I heard Lionel wrote a song about me. It's just like, what the fuck?
And she hasn't heard it yet, so she's like, I'm just gonna play it. I heard it was a great song, and then all of a sudden it's like, this is not a great song. No. This is a terrible song.
But that was back when you went to divorce court. Like, yeah, women got the money they needed to get, but no one actually cared about what women had to say yet. You know what I mean? Like, it was still a time where they're like, all right, lady, here's some money, but don't talk. Now, imagine if that happened now.
Are you hanging out or are you just leaving? Okay. I had a guest show up, so.
No problem.
You can say hello.
More than welcome. Hello. How are you? I'm just bashing women.
He's just bashing women. Don't worry. It's fine.
It's going to end up okay. Yeah, bitches.
I will.
Anyway, so
See you later.
Yeah, bye. So imagine nowadays if you tried to do that, that would be the first thing that the woman would bring into court. Like, he mentally abused me. Do you have proof? Have you heard Sail On? Okay.
Do you have 3 minutes and 24 seconds? Let me play it for you. Exactly.
The judge's like, do I have it? I sing it in the shower all the time.
These judges like, wait, that's about you? Oh,
I thought it was about sailing.
Yeah.
Nobody listens to the words of song. That's what Lionel thought. Lionel's like, make it smooth, make it cool, have a nice upbeat. It will all be fine. And then I remember one day I was listening to it. I'm like, wait, this hit me. I was like, what is this about fucking divorce? And this might be the greatest song ever written because of this very reason. It's like, that's amazing. And at least the woman he divorced at that time was a black woman. So that person that was bothering with the comedy show couldn't get mad at Lionel. It's like, then he hooked up with a white woman and made Nicole Richie, but whatever. That's a whole different
it's a whole different, Well, that's like, I've noticed like with my moods, dude, like if I'm in like a sad mood, any song is instantly sad. It could be the happiest song in the world. And it's like, nope, this is the saddest song I'm ever going to hear. And the next one, even sadder. All right, let's just keep going.
Or you find a way to make it sad. You just listen to the words and you're like, no, I know he's saying this, but that had to come from somewhere.
It's like, I know he's talking about how proud he is of his son, but that's really sad.
I was talking to someone else about this the other day. Like, I know people that write things that aren't comics, people that write books, stuff like that. Yeah. And they're talking about, I know a lot of people that when they write, if they're going to write something sad, they listen to sad music. If they're going to write something, motivational, they listen to the things that motivate them. So whenever I have to write a joke and have to work on the word structure, I don't listen to songs that have like emotion to it. I listen to songs from singer-songwriters because I listen to the words and it makes me go, how do I make this fit? And lately with this quarantine, I try to find new things to listen to, and I've for the first time in my life really dug into country music a little bit, and it's weird because there's that guy Luke Combs who looks like that comedian Pete Angelo, if you ever met him. A big burly guy, whatever. And I listened to him, and he has a good voice and all, but he has this one song where it's the most hillbilly goddamn song, and when it rains it pours, it's called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a great song, but when you listen to the words, he's just describing what would be the most white trash day of all fucking times.
He's like, I want to use 4-wheeler. And I'm like, who's proud of that? Okay, all right. And he's like, I got 2 scratch-offs.
This is actual rhyme. He got the last spot at the Hooters parking lot. That was a big thing for him. That was a big day.
That was a good day for him.
Yeah, and he was and he got her phone number, and she answered on the first ring, which means Luke has had some tough times.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how many times Luke's called the McDonald's waitress or a cashier, and she's like, 5 rings? What is this? How dare you? It's not Wendy's. You're not high and uppity. But I listened to those words, and I first heard that, and I'm like, oh, it's a fun song, whatever, but it's super white trash, doesn't relate to me. And I'm like, wait, no.
Yeah.
It relates to everyone, but he understands his audience the most. And as comedians, sometimes we either focus too much on our point of view or not enough. Sometimes we're like, well, I'm going to write a joke that fits who I am and my fan base. But when you don't have fan bases like us, and you're growing them all the time,
Mm-hmm.
you have to try to write universally. But you still want to make the people that are like you get you. So I'm like, write things that make sense to everyone, but also feel like inside code to the people that are there too. You know what I mean? They get you. And it's been fun to like listen to that kind of shit. But like that, he has a couple of songs too where I'm like, someone hug this man.
Yeah.
Like this man has been through a lot. And he was 17 and he was really drunk.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of songs are I'm 17 and I'm super drunk.
Well, that's the thing. Like I'm like, there's certain things that like I won't write about. Like, well, I mean, I'll write about it eventually, but like right now I'm just like, what do I say that's not gonna make me sad? It's like I don't want to sit there and just write and just make me sad. So it's like
right, but if you write, and I had to do that with a bunch of things with my divorce and my kids, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've written a couple of jokes where it was tough to tell for a while, but the trip you take the audience on when you get it done right, when you can tell that story where you're eliciting more than just laughter as the feeling, when you're getting them, you can almost see them getting sad. And then when you make that final, the bow on the end where you get them to laugh, it's more of a relief laugh than it is just a ha-ha laugh, and they feel it, and they talk to you about that joke after. So if you can do it, it is painful to explore it and do it. So what I used to do is I used to take like a longer sad chunk of my life and break it into sections and work on sections at a time, making it into a longer bit later, but I couldn't go down the whole fucking rabbit hole of my fucking, broken down past. I had to fucking sit there and go this, work at it a little bit of time and then make it work. And by the time I was done saying it a bunch, the more you say sad things out loud, the less sad they are because you're like taking it out of your dumb dome and putting it out there going, oh, it's not as awful as it is when it hides in my dumb cage. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that doesn't help with the quarantine and then all this crap. It's like that's all I'm thinking about. So it's literally just like, do I want to write about that right now? Like, but also it's like, like I don't want to be that comic that's on stage talking about how sad he is because of a heartbreak or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's like,
as a comic, I get that because you're thinking about other comics, thinking about your material. Fuck them. They don't.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not worried about that. It's just more the audience.
No, but they want it. They do. The thing that separates the people that get laughs, the people that get connection with the audience, is when you talk to them about things that they've been through, but yours has been worse. Case in point, and people, when I say this at first, people always go, you're making a joke. I am, but it's also real.
Oh, yeah.
400-pound comics destroy on stage, right? If you're a fat fucking piece of shit, you crush. When you're on a show with them, you're like, fuck, they're going to crush.
Yep.
Yeah, they're doing jokes about being fat. And and some of them are very original. I'm not saying they're hacky in any way. They've earned it. They're going to die at like 43. They're going to lose their foot soon. They've earned these laughs.
They earned it. Yeah, they earned it all right.
They earned it. They ate it and they earned it. So they got paid in feedback and it's fine. But when they crush, it's usually because most people in the audience have either been fat, know someone that's fat, is fat now, dealing with weight problems, all like that, whatever, and they're laughing, going, I mean, he's going through a lot of shit. I am too, but at least I'm not that fucking guy. And it's the same thing with heartache. We've all had that heartbreak. And if you can laugh, if you could be on stage making me laugh, I'm going through heartbreak right now, I go, oh, it is going to get better. He's over it. He's having fun. He's making me laugh. It really does do that. And they connect, but it makes you go through shit, but your joke becomes more real. You know what I mean? When you tell those stories, it works. But yeah, it does stink when they don't laugh at it at first, when you are sharing your soul and you're up there and they're like, okay, loser, go have fun jerking off alone. I'm like, all right.
That happened to me in November. So like I got back from a trip. And I had a show, and I messaged the guy. I was like, listen, I'm not in the mood to do the show. He's like, what do you mean? I go, mentally, I'm just not there. And he's like, Just come to the show. Just do like 10 minutes and you'll be fine. So I get there and he's literally just like.
By the way, no one should do that. If you're not the headliner and you're not hurting that, if a comic says no to stage time, there's a reason why.
Yeah, but I also in a way I needed to get out of the house. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm doing this. So I get to the show and he's like, you look rough. I go, yeah, I haven't slept in like 3 days.
This guy's awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. Get over here. You get there. You look like shit. Like, all right, dude.
Oh yeah. Literally, yeah. He's like, you all right? I was like, I haven't slept for like 3 days and I've just been drinking nonstop. I was like, give me the stage. He goes, you're not going off for another hour. I go, I'm ready to go now.
Yeah.
And I went up and I go, how long do you want me to do? He goes, 10 to 15. I go, can I do like 25? He's like, sure. So I went up and I think the first 15 minutes was talking about how shitty my week was. Like, it wasn't even stuff that I've ever tested out. And I instantly, as soon as I got to the end of that, and I was just like, oh, I just made this whole audience, like, feel bad for me. Like, they weren't even laughing. They were just bad for me. I was like, all right, now I got to go into my material and bring you guys back around.
And you're doing that without wanting to do it. And you're going into your thing, and it's not coming off exactly the same. I mean, you can pull it out. You could go through the motions, but you're not feeling it. And at the end of your set, no matter what, that audience is like, what the fuck was that beginning part? Did he have a stroke? Like, what the fuck just happened there?
Well, everyone after the show was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Don't worry. I'm good. Whatever.
Yeah, and they don't know if it's a bit. Some of them are probably like, oh, maybe he's doing some weird avant-garde shit where he's crying a bunch and shit his pants.
Yeah, exactly.
That's his move.
Maybe it's a one-man show. He just didn't tell the rest of the people.
Do you think strip clubs will open soon?
Oof.
They're doing drive-through ones in certain areas. I've seen that online.
What are the categories as? Are they entertainment or are they like, I forget what's their category, because they can hit. New York is doing this like in waves kind of thing. It's like 1 through 4. So like manufacturing is like number 1. Number 2 is like personal services, which I think strip club could technically go under.
Right. So could like a rub and tug.
Yeah. So basically,
finally, we get to go back to work. Oh, don't worry, SNL's not watching, asshole. You're okay.
No, I'm not worried about that.
Oh, Shane Gillis.
I'm not worried about that. No, but no, the way it is like I see it because like New York, who knows what they're gonna do? Connecticut, are they on the same page? Pretty much, they're doing the wave thing.
I don't think. I mean, they don't really have like rankings or whatever. I don't think around here, but like Florida's opening up.
Oh yeah,
Florida's gonna have strip clubs.
Go Gators! Yeah, Florida doesn't really care. They're literally like, yeah, we're gonna take a week off to make it look like we care, and then literally a week later, they're like, yeah, you guys can go.
Yeah, we're good. Well, what are we gonna stay inside from? It's not like it's getting better or just gonna go away. We're not doing that thing China did where they fucking just dusted the whole place like it was E.T. and they had hazmat suits on. That was good shit. When they killed 1 million people, that worked. We should have. It worked. It's not nice, but it fucking worked. They just took them out and killed them all. Florida, I think, is going to open up the strip clubs, but it's going to be, for the first time ever, very safe for the women because 6 feet apart is a long-ass lap dance away.
Yeah, and you're going to have to, like, launch the money, like, 6 feet, and that's not going to work.
Yeah, and not for white people.
Yeah, because we only got $20.
Yeah, and because all those ballers, they know how to make it rain. We don't know how to do that. I can barely shuffle cards. I can't do that. You fire off fucking money like that.
I'm the kind of guy that's like, wait, you're firing off how much money? It's like, you could, wait, that's your cable right there. Pull some of that back.
Yeah, she's not touching you. What are you doing? You could just show that off. Hey, go to McDonald's and do that. It's the same results.
At least you'll get full off food at McDonald's.
No, give me all the McChickens. Just firing them off.
I can't do strip clubs anymore.
No,
like
I was never a strip club guy, but I would think that if you're someone who needs work and you're a female, a strip club would be a place you want to go work because you're waiting tables is going to suck. Everything's going to be at fucking 30, 35% capacity. Caps like that. That club in Utah is going to be opening up, and they're going to be at 35% capacity, and that's going to be tough for anyone to make any money at all. I mean, did you guys ever have Kyle Kinane, or was that canceled before with all this?
Oh, we had it literally the week before.
Okay, because I remember you guys were having that was coming up, and I'm like, that would have sucked if you had.
I would have ate a lot of shit on that one money wise. And my partner that I worked with, Andy, we both were talking about that.
I worked with Andy on your show.
Yeah. So Andy and I, we put the show together, and like, first off, you know how they say don't try to meet like your heroes and stuff like that, or people you look up to. And I've always looked up to Kyle, like in the comedy world. Like he's one of my top 5 like favorite. And the second I got a chance to work with him, I was like a little kid on Christmas. The whole time though in my head, I was like, please don't be a dick. Please don't be a dick. Please don't be a dick. Dude, he is one of the
nicest people,
coolest people I've ever met. Like, hands down. Like, the second I met him to the second he left, he was like the most laid back, chillest dude ever. And I just was like, dude, like, I am so happy that I got to work with you and meet with you. I was nervous for the first time in forever on stage because he was watching my set. I was
so
like,
fun. And he probably said something to you. He's a guy that would say something. I only met him once, and it was like for a weekend, and he probably won't remember me from a hole in the wall, but it was funny because he came up to me and goes, oh, we sound the same. This is going to be weird. I just went, next up, South Park. And he just laughed and looked at me. I was like, we both have similar voices. We had the same haircut and beard at the time. It was real weird that we were on the same show.
So I get off stage, and you know my closer with the American Airlines right now.
Yes.
And I get off stage. First thing he does, he goes, is that a real bit? And I was like, yeah, that's 100% true. And he's like, wow. He goes, I have yet to be banned from an airlines. You are officially cooler than me right now. And I was like, no way in hell, but all right, cool. And then,
take it.
Oh yeah. So he goes up, and we're in the backstage area. I'm about to introduce him and stuff. And I go, anyway, you want to be introduced? You know, just, hey, you want any credits, anything, stuff like that? And he goes, nah. He goes, you introduce me in the weirdest way possible. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, just say anything. And I was like, okay. And I go up on stage. I was like, hey, guys, so just so you know, we added 6 more comics just because Kyle's not here yet. And the whole audience just goes, and I go, this next guy, you might have seen him on the internet. And half the people are getting up to go get a beer. And literally I go, Kyle Kinane! And everyone's like, oh, fuck. So I had to run back to their seats.
That's funny, though. And you did it the right way, though. You didn't do it like where you buried him. You made it funny.
Oh, no.
Because someone else used to make it weird. Like, this guy's a murderer and he kills babies. Kyle Kinane.
Dude, I had someone one time, they're like, I didn't want to introduce. And I'm weird like that. I'm not one of those, like, I don't like to brag. Like, I'm not like, oh, I did this, I did that. I'm just like, I don't know, whatever you want to say. So a guy comes up, he goes, he's a convicted sex offender. Ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, that's that. All right. So now I got to walk into that.
I wasn't convicted, dick.
Yeah, exactly. First off, they dropped the charges, asshole. Okay. The kid wasn't old enough to talk.
Yeah, I'm not a credits guy because I don't they make sense for promotion. If you're like, hey, if I'm coming and you don't know who I am, I might have a couple of credits. You might even recognize, oh, I know this thing. He might be funny because I know this thing. That's about it. But once you're at the show, I've never seen anybody hear a credit and go, I'm going home.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I could literally go up there and say I was on the Titanic, and then also people still, it'd be the same thing as saying I just did an open mic 10 minutes ago.
Right.
Like,
and in both of them, great gigs. Titanic.
As you can tell, I survived. Yeah, I went down with the ship, but I still swam out. Actually, I get introduced one time at the Funny Bone by the guy. He goes, so what do you want me to introduce as? I was like, whatever, you can do the usual. And he's like, okay. As I'm getting ready up, he goes, and he's the writer for Roots, Travis Stealey. And I'm like, oh, no. I go up there, and it's like a 40%, 50% black room. And I'm like, hey, so we already made this pretty awkward. I
would have just said, he meant the Roots. I wrote 2 of their songs.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, if joke's on him, it's Roots 3. Okay, that's the one. It's a future one where everyone works together.
It's Roots 3, Electric Boogaloo.
Exactly.
That's the third one. My favorite Kinane bit, there's millions, but like the one that always stuck with me is the one where he has, he's like, when he dies, he wants to have the gravestone that says 1974 died and died in your arms tonight.
Yeah.
And to me, I hear that bit, I laugh my fucking ass off. I can imagine being at a cemetery going, no, dude, these flowers are for you. Grandma, you earned them.
Oh, yeah, because like a cemetery, like he said, it's like the saddest place in the world. And you're just walking through, and all of a sudden you're like, 80s lyrics. Look at that. Come here. She's not going anywhere. Come here. Yeah.
This guy's great.
Yeah. No, so I talked to him about a bit that I saw him do that he never recorded. And it was a bit that he was talking about how in the afterlife, he goes, if you've never done anything with your life and you died, he goes, I feel bad for you in the afterlife. Because like, let's say, for example, oh, you're like a headless kid and something happened to you. You're going to go scare this insane asylum. You're a knight. You're going to go scare this castle. You're a 30-year-old hipster who just OD'd. We got a loft apartment for you somewhere. We're just going to go do that.
We got this rolling papers factory you go fucking haunt.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, you were late on your student loans, huh? Oh, we're going to get you in that closet real quick. Yeah. And
you can go haunt that woman who bothered Travis about his lineup.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Book Puerto Rican women that are trans. It's like,
oh, my God. Yeah, dude, I had one time, like, we're going back to that. I had I lined it up perfectly. I didn't do it on purpose, but it was lined up perfectly. I had a black guy, I had a woman, I had a gay guy, and then I had me, and that was it. And
You
literally, I was
had
like,
the Guess Who of comedy. It was
yeah,
fantastic.
like you
Got 'em all.
couldn't change it up anymore, right? And still, even then, I kind of wanted to message that girl, that flyer, and be like, "Is this good enough for you?" Like, I just want to know.
No, you're on it, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you on? You book yourself because you're white? I booked
Yeah,
myself because
exactly.
I'm me.
I booked myself because I need the work.
I've never thought about me as white. I've been me the whole fucking time. Like,
Yeah, it's like I'm pale as shit, but I'm not like white. If you catch my drift. Like,
listen, if I'm not on the show, who's the black guy gonna make fun of?
Exactly.
I'm here for him.
I'm the hacky fucking host that makes the rest of the comics look good. Like, that's my job. So
He's got to be like, hey, this is my impression of Travis. Hi, everybody. I'm white.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They won't know the reference. They need me.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, find me 3 transsexuals that are actually funny. You could do more than 2 minutes. It's not about their used to be cock, and I'll book them all. But where are they?
I heard a statistic. I don't know if this is true, but you've been in the game longer than I have, and probably done a lot more than I have, obviously. What's it like? Out of every 10 comics, 1 is a woman, and then out of every 15 comics, 1 is like a black woman. You know, weird statistic like that. And it's like, and that's not even saying they're funny or not. It's just saying what they are.
Yeah, and that's just saying people that are claiming it. And what's claiming it? Is it the people on Facebook who did 2 open mics and yelled put comedian as their job? What's the census? I'm still not
at that level to where I feel comfortable enough of putting comedian as my Facebook job. Like I'll put McDonald's over Facebook comedian.
Yeah, it's better work.
Yeah, exactly. At least I get health insurance.
They're still working right now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's insane when people. I hate to keep bagging on that, but like, just let people book. There's no other job in the world where you tell someone, yeah. I mean, I guess affirmative action, but besides that, that little thing of and women's rights. Yeah. But it's comedy is when we're booking it like this. There's no unions or whatever. If I'm putting on a show and it's my money I'm spending on whatever, I'm not hiring. Like, if it was a union, I would understand it. But here's the funny thing: if there was a union, that person complaining would not be in the union. They wouldn't get any work because they're no good. They're not funny. They're too busy netting Junior and up. Like, that's all they're trying to do is just do some woke clapter shit. Write jokes. Be funny. Then you'll get on shows.
I've noticed the most woke ones, the ones that usually have the most problems, are the ones that have done maybe 1 show in the past 2 years. And it was a showcase that someone felt bad for him and threw him on. And it's like, okay, there's a reason why I'm getting shows. Okay? I have nothing for me. I'm an average height white guy who's not fat. So it's like I have to actually try to be funny.
Right.
And it's like I can't just go off.
And I have to actually try to be funnier than a lot of you have to, because people look at me and go, white guy, boring.
Exactly.
And I got to now be not boring when I'm not boring. I'm a fucking comic. I create dumb shit in my head all day. How am I boring? Because white people had a great run for a while. Now we're in trouble.
Yeah, no,
I get. I mean, listen, I get. If you're listen, if you're a black female comic and you work your ass off and you fucking are funnier than all the people you're going to show, and it's legit, and no one's recognizing you because you're in an area that's a little racist or a little dumb, whatever, and you haven't gone to a big city or haven't seen yet. I get it. I get there is that frustration.
There is that 2% of the complaining.
And
2% of the complaining that it makes sense. Yeah.
And you hope and pray that the people that do book shows there do recognize her talents and put her on shows and let her build whatever and then tell people about her so she gets work. I get it. But she's not the one complaining because she's too busy working her ass off.
Exactly.
That's the thing. She's not fucking. The other ones are just bitching and moaning about fucking.
Yeah. And it's this new wave that, like, there's that, and then there's this other thing that I don't know if it's happening in your scene, but it's definitely happening here, is everyone's, I guess, too friendly in a way. Like, not friendly, I guess too supportive. And I'll explain. So when I got into the game, basically,
you froze there.
They acknowledge you if you weren't funny. And, like, for example, if you weren't funny, you weren't acknowledged. You weren't getting shows. Now it's, oh, you're not funny, but everyone wants to be your friend, and you did a great job. I'm going to put you on my show. And it's like, wait a minute. Like, what is that teaching that person? So not only are they complaining they're not getting shows, but now they're like, oh, I'm getting shows, but I'm not funny. So it's like, it's two, I guess, similar but also different worlds that's ruining a lot of stuff around here.
Yeah, well, the problem and that's happened in a lot of places, and the problem, too, is it's that people that are booking shows. New comics want work, and I appreciate that. We get excited at first. We think we're funnier than we are because when you first start doing comedy, there is no. You just write your name on a list, and you're allowed to do whatever. And then when you finally want to get a show, you get your first no, and you don't get that. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they don't understand.
No.
Like, no, I'm going to put on my own show then. Yeah, exactly.
I'll put on my own show. But here's the thing. When I was starting and when I wanted to get work right away, I put on my own shows, but I went to the open mics. I went to other local shows. I found out who headliners were. I found out who middles were. I found out who hosts were. I would try to host by myself, but even if I couldn't, I would guess about it or put something on. Yeah. And I found out who was good so I could learn from them, so I could learn how to be a host, so I could learn how to be a middle down the road, watch people better than me, not find 8 guys I was open micing with and say, let's do a showcase. Let's all show them and then put on bad comp. That's the problem now. People aren't watching that structure. And it's the veterans' faults because they're not coming down to the open mics anymore, at least in my area and stuff.
Same here.
One or two, they're not because they're too good for it because they're just ready to do their dumb spaghetti dinners. They don't want to work on their dumb shit. Yeah. But I go down all the time, and I go to them because, A, I want to work on material all the time, but B, I get more work because young comics, they come out of nowhere. They don't know anyone who could do 45 to an hour. They meet me. They're like, oh, I'll hire you. I get money. I help them with their shows. They get to put on good shows, and they have comics that can fill it, and their show doesn't suck, and then the bar lets them do it again. But they don't go there. And when they do their shows, I give them advice. If they want to take it, great. But if not, but it's on both. The older comics, if they want it to be good in their community, they got to fucking show up. They can't just sit back and bitch.
It's both sides.
Yeah, but when I started, every comic that was around wanted to headline, even if they weren't headliner. I remember that. I lucked out because every comic book in the show was like, I'm the headliner. And so they would just come to me and go, oh, you seem like you can talk a lot. I'm like, I can, but I don't have material. They're like, well, can you do that for 15 minutes? My second week, I was hosting shows. Yeah. And I shouldn't have been at all, but I got to do 10 minutes of absolutely nothing.
I didn't get my first show till 6 months in. And even then, I didn't think I was good enough. It was one of those things I was like, and this one guy's like, hey,
weren't. I was not for a while.
I was not, no. And thankfully I had Rich Williams, who's going by Dick Williams now. He pulled me under his wing and literally was like, hey, listen, you have funny stuff. You just don't know what you're doing.
Right.
So I'm going to help you. And which, kind of gave me the way to go. So I thank him every time I can. And eventually he's like, hey, do you want to do 5 minutes on this show? And I told him, I was like, I don't think I can even, I don't think I'm good enough. And I still have that mindset now. I'm in the game now for almost 5 years with my shows, with putting on shows, with doing shows, with, getting acts and doing all this other stuff. I still have this mindset. I'm not good enough because that's my way. That's my motivation to be better. That's my motivation to go to mics and stuff like that.
I think all comics have that, like that poser mentality where everyone's going to find out like we're no good. Like in our head, we're like, I'm not a real comic. They're all real comics. I don't know what I'm doing. And other comics are thinking the same thing going, I can't be like Pat. Pat's good. Like we all think we're not good. If you think you're amazing, quit. Because even Seinfeld's still making a new special now. He just had one come out.
Yeah. Yeah. If you think you're amazing, all right, you need to take that step back and be like, all right, what have you done? I just want to know. Like, I'm not saying that in a cocky way. It's just, what have you done?
But even if you hit that mountain, do it again.
Exactly. Because the secret to success, it's not the first time. It's the doing it again. Doing it again, stuff like that. And you can see the difference in comics that have like had one special compared to the comics that are on like their 9th special. Like you may not like their comedy, but they're still doing it and they're still changing it up and still going and going and going and going.
Like Chris D'Elia, holy shit! I want to like him all the time. I watch his specials. I don't get it. But he's obviously super fucking talented. I'm not taking that away. He's obviously one of the most talented people in the world. What he's doing, he's amazing. There's no punchline, and it's just kind of like.
Well, that's with what's his face, the tattooed weird dude from SNL, Davidson. Like
he's just also not likable.
To me he's not likable, but also it's like how does exactly it's like I've watched his stand up and I'm just like I don't get it.
His dad died at 9/11.
Yeah, it's like okay, so my dad killed himself. Does that give me a Comedy Central special?
Are you talking about it?
Yeah, I need to now. Apparently at this point.
What are you doing? Your dad killed himself so you could get a fucking Netflix special. Get out there. That should be the name of it. My dad killed himself so I can get a Netflix special.
I should at this point.
Or my dad killed himself on 9/11. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly. My dad died on an even sketchier date. He died literally on 1, 2, 3, 4. Like he died on so every time I see that I'm like, thanks, champ. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's just like I'm like, that's a good time. But like that is
a good time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you play that number? No, that would be a good number.
That wouldn't be a good number because if I hit on that, I'm like, do I thank him?
Yeah.
Thanks for doing what you did. Hey,
it's the yin and yang, right? It's like the good and bad.
Yeah, exactly. So no, that's
my
that's
dad's alive. That's my comedy's no good. Come on, Dad, do something to yourself. I need some good comedy to happen here.
Well, how old's your dad?
70, and he's still healthy and doing good.
Yeah.
So my parents aren't going to be dead. I'll die before them.
I mean, they're not going to die. They're just disappointed. There's a difference D word for them.
You know what? They're not. This is the first time they're ever happy. Everything else, they're like, what are you doing? Oh, yeah. I was a real black sheep piece of shit for a long time. But now they're like, oh, he finally found the one thing he can do and not get fired. Because I had the same personality, but trying to sell things.
You could get fired for a few things. You just got to get a blackface, or you just got to get, let's see.
You don't think I already have a blackface?
Correction, you'll get banned from the Connecticut and upstate New York scene if you have a blackface.
I'm trying to be Mr. I'm experimental and I do things on here. Have you seen this?
Hold on. Pat Oates has started screen sharing.
There you go. Hold on a second.
Oh,
have you seen this? Is the giant fat baby that's all over TikTok and the internet?
Yeah, I don't have TikTok yet.
Well, you don't even need that. You can just look up giant baby.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's a baby. That's a baby that has Winston Churchill's head.
Dude, Nick Saban already offered him a freaking scholarship at this point.
He's a monster. Look at the Doma. Look at him. Look at his parents dress him. He is so big that he is distracting people from a pandemic. Imagine being that giant of a baby. Like not 2.
Watch him be like 13 and his parents are just fucked up.
People are saying that. People are saying like a couple months ago in that
the bullied little Australian kid, right?
And then Brad Williams tried to help him because Brad was trying to get good graces from after his weird rape story told the Doug Benson thing. Yeah. That was a good time.
Dude, all Brad had to do was literally just say, yeah, fuck it, I made a joke. Instead of being like, okay, I shouldn't have done this. It didn't happen. He could have easily just been like, yeah, I made a joke. Because how many people have made that joke on a podcast? Literally.
I know, but when I talked about it when I did the Compound Media thing on POS, and when I talked about it there, that tells you how much people don't give a fuck about midgets. Because because if that was real, people are like, think about it, for him to go, like, even make up that story, he knows in his head, people are just going to go, ha, 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 you raped her. It's like... Like, what would you do if you ran into the room and there was a midget on your mom? Would you just tickle him? Get off! Little rape guy! Get off!
First, I'm like, how'd you get in here? I didn't hear the Chucky footsteps going through here. What happened?
Wait, did you use pixie dust? How'd you get in here?
I got a buddy who I was actually talking to the other day. I won't say his name because I don't know if he wants this public or not. But he is of the shorter stature, and he's a comic. He's getting into the comedy stuff like that. And I told him, dude, listen, you need to play off that. Like, you need to play off the little thing.
So he's a comic in your area and he's a midget? We'll all know who he is.
No. He's not my area. He's like 45 minutes west, but it's pretty simple to find him.
Larry DeFelice?
No.
That's the one tiny person I know in your area.
So, no, but I told him, I was like, and you play guitar too, right? He's like, yeah. I go, dude, you just got yourself 45 minutes right there with the audience paying attention to you. And he's like, what do you mean? I go, you getting on stage is going to be 10 minutes of you just dicking around. Then you just talking about that, and then picking up a guitar and being like, "This thing's fucking bigger than me." I go, "I'm jealous."
Oh no, I know, I am, but I hate him.
I know. It's hacky, but I'm jealous for how easy it. Not easy, but you know what I mean.
What he should do is be super hacky. Have you come up with a ukulele, and then go, "Oh wait, we switch," and then you switch. Oh,
I'm not gifted musically, dude. I played bass in a band because I can only remember 2 notes in a Black Sabbath song.
Hey, Travis, he's a midget with a guitar. You don't have to be good.
Valid point.
No one's waiting for Stairway to Heaven.
For him, it would be Bump to Heaven, maybe.
Yeah, just a little ditty. That's all
exactly.
Wants. But this is a giant fucking baby. And
Jesus. Yeah.
Imagine, okay, so 18 years from now, people start talking, I mean, even not in high school age, people start finding out you're giant baby. You're the person that distracted people from a global pandemic because you're giant and your parents dressed you up like a rugby player, like a fucking cartoon,
like a lawyer, yeah,
and being sexy as fuck in the middle. What's he doing? Look at that look. Look at that pose.
Look at that. Hey, what you doing? You caught me in my undies. Hey, yeah, exactly.
What's in his hand with the briefcase? What's it? Is that brass knucks?
A toy man? I don't know. Yeah, he's like, I'm here to fucking do crime, or no, I'm here to send the people to jail and knock you out and I'm all out of jail.
He looks like baby Brock Lesnar. Like he does. He's a fucking monster.
Speaking of wrestling, I obviously you being a wrestling guy.
Have you watched it?
I haven't watched it lately, but
I can't. I tried. I watched WrestleMania, and I watched like a week or two after, and it's not even that there's no one there. It's just like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just real fucking weird. It's not going to be the storylines I want. I've been watching older wrestling, but like,
I grew up on the older wrestling and stuff like that. But like the thing that gets me is like, so I don't follow it as much, but I do try to watch like AEW because it's like newer. But the thing is like everyone's bashing on it because they're like, oh, they're just guys who flip and do all this stuff and all this crap. But I was like,
I'm one of them. I bash on it.
Which is fine. Like it's fine. It's like, but like they're just starting out. You got to give them props for that one. Like,
no, I get it. They're doing something different. And they have some super talent. Chris Jericho is probably literally having his best run ever in his amazing Hall of Fame career. Probably
easily one of the GOATs. Easily one of the GOATs.
Probably putting himself on Mount Rushmore at this point. Is one of the greatest wrestlers. Maybe not overall, like, he's not Hulk Hogan, Cena as in popularity, but I'd literally put him there with Flair and Shawn Michaels.
He's in the top 5.
In that group. Like that. I would put him in that group as talent in the ring with the mic, all that stuff. He's been amazing. Omega's incredible. They've got some tremendous talent. I mean, whatever, Dean Ambrose, whatever the fuck you want to call him, Johnny Moxley, whatever.
Yeah, whatever he is this week. Yeah.
Doing incredible stuff. I'm not a fan of the Young Bucks. I don't like the Young Bucks. I never have because they don't sell. And
they don't.
I hate that. Ricochet never sold, and I never thought he'd make it to the next level. When he went to NXT, he fucking manned up. He learned how to wrestle like on a TV show needs you to, and that guy sells his ass off. He might not be doing the best things with them now, but he learned that next step. The Young Bucks, if they want to bring it, their tag team division is the best the world's ever seen.
They have a great tag team division. It's only going to get better. And it's only going to get better, too.
It's already getting better. The fact that Jericho's now in a tag team with late sex gods, and they're doing a tremendous job. Hardy's tagging up with Omega tonight. I mean, this will be 2 weeks from now. People see this, but like when they're wrestling, they're putting out tag team matches all the time. They're incredible what they do. Fucking sell. Pretend like it hurts. Just give me and stop doing the thing where one guy stands on the fucking top rope and 13 guys wait to catch him.
Yeah, like
not a cat jumping out of a building. Stop.
And here's the thing. Back in so I got in a little later. I got in like the early to mid 90s. That's when I got in. And that happened once every maybe 5 years. Someone would jump out of the ring onto the people. Now the way it's going, it's happening on both sides now, but I'm just saying, now the way it's going, it's like you have one guy just holding the other guy. I'm like, you're not even fake fighting anymore at this point to be like, oh, look, a guy's flying. It's like, I'm just holding you up to make sure we're good to catch him. At this point, it's like, stop with that.
What AEW is like to me is like what you said before about how comedy's turning to you. It's too many people worried about everyone else getting their shit in. It really is. It's not about the guy, the veteran gets his work in. You'll learn. Hey, Guerrero, you'll learn. Sammy Guerrero is incredible. He does sell. They've got some, like I said, they've got some super talent, but he's learning from the group they put him in. They know he's something special. You know what I mean?
They made that group perfect because now you got Swagger doesn't have to talk. You got Jericho.
He can't even really wrestle because of the whole fucking MMA thing.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
He's great as an enforcer. It's a great role for him.
And then you have the tag team that can go off, do their Hernandez. Is it Hernandez and who's the other? Whatever the other guy is.
Other Hernandez.
Yeah, other Hernandez. And you got those two guys that can just go off, do their own thing. You have Jericho who can lead it, and then you got Sammy who can do anything from where like lightweight to.
Sammy to me is their X-Pac. He's that's what he is. He's their worker. When you got to have a match where you got to have the other guys go, and you need that guy to go in there, take all the bumps, do all the moves, to sell. Make it look good, do the comeback, all that. That's Sammy, and he's learning from them. I don't know why Young Bucks, other guy like that, best friend, sell. I get Orange Cassidy. That's a fun. I'm fine with that, but at least he even sells.
Yeah, but the thing with Cassidy, everyone knew he was a gimmick coming in, and he stayed that route. Like it's not he's changed. With the Bucks, it's like, okay, you're one of the founding fathers of this thing. You got to build it. You're not building it by just, okay, I got kicked. Oh, I'm good. And I'm coming right back. It's like, it doesn't work like that.
I'm happy they're giving the ball to other people. I was worried it was going to be like a Dusty Rhodes thing where all of them were just going to be like, I'm a champion. I'm that, whatever.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
I was worried Cody was going to be wearing the belt the whole time. That was one thing.
See, I didn't think he ever would. I knew he wouldn't. I thought they were going to throw it on Omega. Now, I like the fact that they're holding off on that. He will eventually. He'll be a guy that holds that belt a bunch. It makes no sense.
They're going to do the same thing that happened with New Japan. Beat him down, and then he's going to come back up. Like like that and just be bigger. Yeah.
And Hangman Page, guys like that should be those guys that are there. Even getting Goldust fucking back here, I'm fine with that. Sometimes they bring I don't like that they shit on WWE for using old people and then bring back the old, like DDP and shit and Arn Anderson.
And the thing that gets me is like
back now.
Half of their promos is shitting on WWE. It's like, be different. Shit on the guy you're fighting.
But they know that, like I said before, they know their audience. As much as we want them to be different, their audience, those marks, want them to shit on them. They want to be on that team.
Because people will be people will be talking about it. That's why. Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm happy AEW and NXT are battling because it wouldn't make sense. AEW versus SmackDown, AEW versus Raw. It wouldn't make any sense.
And it's hard
Raw
to
and SmackDown would win, but people would the wrestling fan would leave to go to AEW. NXT, it's hard to go back and forth because I want to watch Adam Cole. I want to watch Velveteen Dream. I want to watch all the shit they got there.
I got a buddy in NXT. So it's like, it's hard. So I'm like always trying to flip back and forth to watch his stuff. And then, because I got good friends with Bobby Fish.
Bobby Fish is him. Kyle O'Reilly is probably my favorite wrestler to watch, and I love the two of them. Red Dragons have been amazing tag team forever. Red Dragons
been amazing for like 10 years at least.
I got into them through ROH. So I first started watching like all that kind of stuff there. But they're incredible. And Bobby Fish on Twitter, one of the nicest humans and humanitarians in the goddamn world.
Easily, yeah. Bobby's one of the nicest dudes in the world. Like, I know him so where like I can joke with him, but still one of the nicest dudes in the world because we did Muay Thai together for years, and that's how I met him. And I'm like, so you're a professional wrestler. This is before, this is like right when ROH was starting to get like more TV stuff. I was like, oh, so you're a professional wrestler? He's like, yeah.
He was probably in the TV title runnings then and stuff. It's
like, he just came back from like one of his second tours of Japan or something like that. So like, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, so what'd you do? He's like, oh, New Japan. I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, to New Japan. I was like, that's like top notch. And he's like, yeah, I know. And I was like, so I'm dealing with a freaking celebrity now at this point.
You know what? That's probably like when you're doing someone meets you and says you do comedy, and they're like I was telling this story a couple months ago. One of the last times we could perform, I was performing at the Stress Factory in Connecticut, and the next day I had to go to a bank that was down the street from there. I happened to be in the area again, and I went to put the bank, and the lady right away was like, you do know that you can just go to the ATM and cash this, right? Or deposit it. And I go, well, I wanted to come inside. I don't understand the problem. She goes, but I use that ATM all the time because usually I'm only working at night. She goes, oh, what do you do at night? I don't know why she asked me. I don't even know why I said it.
And you made the mistake of being like, I'm a comedian.
I'm a comedian.
She's like, oh my God.
Well, no. Then she goes, well, not like a real one. Like, you don't work at, she goes, you don't work at the club down the street, do you? And I go, read the check, lady. And it said Stress Factory on it. And she goes, oh. I'm like, yeah, thank you. I go, should I let your boss know how nice you are, how friendly? I can see why you're telling me to fucking go to the ATM. You're an awful person. Thank you.
There was, I'm trying to think. This had to be maybe like a year ago. Now, you've done the Saratoga Winery before, right?
Yes.
Okay.
One time, and it was a blast.
Oh, yeah, great time. Bobby's a great dude. So they have the new room up there, which the new room is phenomenal. Like, that's one of those, like, I would love to do shows there again. And I had a check, so I go to the bank the next day, and the girl's like, oh, Saratoga Winery, what were you doing up there? I was like, oh, I'm a comedian. She goes, my daughter works there. What comedian were you? And I was like, I was the host.
One that fucked her. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, I was the host. And she's like, oh. And I just could tell on her face that she knew exactly who I was. And she just goes, okay, well, here you go. Have a good day. And I was like, oh. And I just go, so I was not that good? And she goes, no, you were fine. Next. I was like, oh.
She's like, isn't the buffet good?
Oh, yeah, literally, yeah. She's like, the buffet is great. I mean, it didn't help that, like, Stephanie Peters followed me, and she just destroyed.
And then pulled the buffet out of her pants. That fucking fat lady.
I fucking love
she's the best. She's the best.
Oh, she's the best.
Where can people follow you? Where do you want them to see you? All that stuff.
Right now on Twitter, I got my Twitter back because I got kicked off a couple years ago from it.
Ooh, what'd you do?
You want to hear this?
Yes.
This is kind of ironic because
the
pictures that came out today just makes me look even more like an asshole. So this was like 8 or 9 years ago. And this is when Twitter just came out. And I was like, all right, I only have Twitter for 2 reasons. It's for Florida Gators news, which is pretty depressing, and comics, which is pretty depressing. So really, Twitter is the most depressing thing in the world. And Adele, the singer, was doing like the Grammys or Emmys or some shit like that. And
I like you're like Adele, the singer, not like Farmer in Adele.
Hey, some people don't know. You know, some people are like, who? And I'm like, never mind. So I tweeted to her. I was like, "What did you use to support the stage? I'm doing an addition on my house." And I went
Did she
to
respond?
bed. Oh, don't jump ahead.
Oh, no. Oh, Adele. Did she go, hello?
So I went to bed. I wake up the next day. My phone is dead. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I plug it in. I had over 2,000 notifications from Twitter. I'm like, what the fuck? She retweeted it and was like, people will always try to put me down. And then all her fat fans came after me. And it was hysterical because I was just responding back to all of them. I was like, go enjoy your Haagen-Dazs. Fuck you. Go cry alone.
You put the hog in Haagen-Dazs. Get out
Oh,
of here.
yeah. Dude, I was just being that asshole. So then they reported my name and my email, and then Twitter blocked it. Or Twitter blocked the email and then deleted the account. And I was like, are you kidding me? So, yeah. At least I got that going for me. But
some people always try to put me down. Yeah, like the giant horse that you are, trying to put you down.
And then look at her now. She had a picture that literally came out either today or yesterday. She's down to 130 pounds or something like that. But her head is still 55 pounds of it.
And I'll bet you it's photoshopped. I heard about that too.
It's got to be photoshopped, or it's going to be one of those real flappy kind of things where you got the stomach band kind of
Or
thing.
she's got the COVID. It's COVID times and she's dying. You shouldn't be losing that much weight now. What the money and the fame couldn't motivate you? Being inside for a week did?
If I had that much money, the word gym wouldn't even be in my vocabulary anymore. Literally, it would just be like a gym. I remember going there. I'm never going that place again.
Your best song ever is a Bob Dylan cover. Shut the fuck up, you fat cow. Shut the fuck up. I like how our last two stories are about two fat ladies that entertain on stages.
Oh, yeah.
Stephanie Peters and Adele.
Jesus.
The Twin Towers.
What was the wrestling team with Earthquake and Monsoon? The
Earthquake and Typhoon.
Typhoon, yeah.
They were the
terrorists.
Twin. The fuck were they?
Crap.
Natural disasters.
Natural disasters.
Yes,
there we go. Yeah, that's.
See, quarantine's killing us both.
Yeah, quarantine's killing us both.
All right, but so they can follow you on Twitter. Tell them what it's at. What?
Yeah, Twitter is Travis Stealey, Stealey. Everyone spells it wrong. Or Travis649. That was the stupid handle I created back in the day, not thinking I was going to be a comic. And then Travis Stealey on Instagram and Travis Stealey on Facebook as well. Those are my big ones.
Please, I understand Twitter handles you can't use or whatever. When I first started, I made a regular Pat Oates one, and I did it. This is how long ago it was on my Earthlink account. And I didn't know how to years later, I didn't know how to get back into it. That Earthlink doesn't exist. I couldn't find it. So now I'm Pat_Oates, and I can't have regular Pat Oates because I have it.
Well, there's the thing. So there's another Travis Stealey in the world, which you've heard the story. There's another Travis Stealey in the world, same spelling. He lives out in Washington, and he hates me because he got tagged in BMX stuff when I was riding pro BMX. Then all the MMA stuff when I was fighting pro MMA, and then now all the comedy stuff. So he's getting tagged in all of this shit, and he's just like, I hate you so much.
Yeah, there's a Patrick Oates who's a black cardiologist, heart specialist in Texas, and he he made some stint or something. So he was I one time on Facebook I tried to find all the Pat Oateses in the world. I called it Pat Oateses Unite, make a group. Nobody wanted to be in it, but this guy did, and he's like, I Googled myself after my heart stint thing, and I still came in second to your dick jokes. I'm like, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did, you son of a bitch. Way to go to law school or doctor school, you dumb fuck.
Yeah, it's like your parents must be proud. Just don't Google me.
Yeah, just Google me, but start on page 3. That's the best page.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. All my MMA stuff comes up. None of my comedy stuff comes up till page 4. And I'm like, all right. And it has all my MMA stuff. And of course, the last fight that I lost. And that's the first thing that comes up. I'm like, great. Thanks, guys. Yeah, just keep up the good work.
Believe me, I know about things coming up wrong. I do this podcast and it should come up first, but some asshole made a podcast and called it Pat Oates is gay to shit on me once. And fucking that comes up.
Dude, that's that compound media life. You get famous and all of a sudden people,
that's the fame.
Yeah, that happened to me. So one of the Super Troopers was doing a live stream. And I just clicked on it, and I just gave a thumbs up. And he's like, oh, hey, Travis Stealey, I worked with him and stuff like that on tour. The next comment, I saw that show, Travis Stealey's gay. The next one, Travis Stealey, yeah, definitely a fag. And they literally were just, I'm like, does that mean I made it? I don't know what's going on.
It does. It means you made it in the gay community.
Nice. At least I got that going for me.
You do. Way to go. Hey, man, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. Anytime. You know that.